again. Trying hard, but you wanna be my friend. Ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. Here we go again. Call my bluff, I'ma be here till the end. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. If you don't wanna change, I can help you out, I can help you out, I can help you out.
Welcome one and all to the RLH Racing League Hub Asia Cup. This is an 8-round season just before the release of F1 2020, and we're going across the Asian continent but also dipping into Australia. And without further ado, we're going to run through the grid for the C3. In the Mercedes, we have Boss. Ferrari, it's Phil and Lurch. Red Bull, it's Gexy and Jordan. In Renault, it's Riker and it's Billy. For Haas, it's me and Jazzy Jeff. In the McLaren, it's Brent and Monkey Meg. Racing Point, it's Maga and Philippe. Alpha, Josh and Ahmed. My Cat and Dave Hardy make up Toro Rosso, and King David and Kelvin are in the Williams. And as we're ready to get going here for the first qualifying session in the Asia Cup, looking forward to this 8-round season, my first full season in RLH. Well, not quite a season, but so we're going to have a dry race and a dry qualifying session, so it should be a straightforward thing as things stands in terms of weather and provisional tyre strategies. We're going to be going out on the mediums for a few laps, but of course making the final times hopefully on the soft compound tyres. Best strategy, of course, being soft to hard, with degradation being relatively high here. And as we fly through, see we're already up on our previous time, currently sat in P4 as we go fastest in the first sector, working our way through this fast middle sector, through the tricky chicane, and still purple in the middle sector, so looking to be a really good lap as things stand. And as we run towards the line with DRS open, climbing up through the gears, this time is going to put us on provisional pole just outside of the 1 minute 20s, but not a bad lap at all, and it's going to end us in P2 as Josh improved late on in the session to get P1 and pole for this first race in the Asia Cup. And you see the gap, 11 thousandths of a second, so tantalisingly close to our first pole position in league racing, but not quite on this occasion. So we'll have to hold on and go again next time. You see, as we come towards the end of the formation lap, ready to get racing here for the first race in the Asia Cup on P2. We're looking down into the first corner without any obstructions, and we get ready now as the lights come on. We have 3, we have 4, and now 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go for the Asia Cup in the C3 category. It's been an okay start, bit of wheel spin, and we're starting slowly to get mobbed into turn 1. So the Mercedes goes clean round our outside. Fantastic move from him. We just about hold on to P3 now as we now run towards turn 3. Of course, one of the heaviest braking points on the circuit, and we're going to be sat in P3 with what seems to be a bit of a gap behind Lurch, not quite onto the back of us as things stand, but the front two have slightly gone away from us at the start. Not the best start for us there, but at least we're still in the mix at the front. Still, of course, with 29 laps to race now as we come into the flowing turn 8, as we run into turn 9 and 10. Just going to be a little bit further back from the Alpha and the Mercedes. But moving on to the start of lap 4, running towards turn 1. We're going to be right behind the 2 leaders who are now battling between Mercedes and the Alpha, going for it. Boss and Josh, and now running in towards turn 3. We're going to see if we can pick up any of the pieces from this puzzle. Mercedes does the switchback and now trying to go round the outside into turn 4. And as they run towards turn 5, bit of contact between the two, and we're going to just sneak up the inside of the Alpha, gaining a free position there. So we managed to pick up a few pieces from the puzzle. And now as we go into turn 6, we're going to be up into P2, regaining where we started the race now. And after a VSC on lap 6, I believe, for somebody going off in the 11-12 chicane. And we're seeing now the VSC is ending, so put it up from no ERS deployment and low fuel mix. And now we're trying to race as we caught up slightly to the back of the Mercedes gap as we cross the last timing line, just only half a second now as we return to racing speed as the VSC comes out now and down into the turn 9-10 chicane in the middle sector now, running towards the very, very fast corner at the end of sector 2. Of course, the detection point up here for DRS, and we've managed to get it on this occasion, cutting the corner slightly in, and we've managed to gain the lead there as Boss drops it out of the chicane. Very, very unfortunate here for him. No VSC, of course, we only just exited the period, but we're now up into P1, which is sensational as things stand. We managed to build a small gap as things stand, but a safety car has been called out. Looks like somebody has crashed at the turn 11, 12 chicane as we come towards Wow. Didn't even need to push it, and we still get a penalty. 7 kilometres an hour over the speed limit. Of course, only 60 kilometres an hour here, not the normal 80. So really annoying there, and a very unavoidable 5-second time penalty. Now as we come towards the end of lap 11, looking to get going again with the restart. We've got Ahmed and Josh just behind us, both Alphas looking to jump on us as quickly as they can now as we come towards the final corner. We're going to get going on the main straight, just come around the final corner now, and all of a sudden the whole pack seems to have come around me completely. We're going to get going now and racing. See our teammates managed to jump right behind us. We've got a 5-second time penalty as well for a collision. I don't even know if we made contact, but we managed to hold on to P1 just about, but it seems to be a very messy restart, and from there on in, of course, we're running to the end, but absolutely relentless pressure from the two Alphas, constantly within a second of me, and the Alpha car in P3 always sort of 1.5 seconds within me, but just managed to hold on, putting it up, turning the engine up as much as we did on the straights and turning it down to try and save in the corners. But as we move on, we managed to keep the gap at sort of 7 tenths, and the Alphas are actually going to swap positions. So I don't know if that was a tactical thing from them or just a small mistake on with the hard run open out as we come on to lap 24, and we're looking now as man like Donkey, the man who did not compete in qualifying, is slowly making his way up the order and is now in P2, starting from P20. As we come onto the final lap, he's going to be within a second of us. They're trying to challenge us on the final lap of the race. We're giving it everything we can, of course, with 10 seconds worth of penalties. Checking from Jeff, I know man like Donkey had no penalties at all. So this will be a win from last on the grid for the Mercedes driver. What a drive it has been as we round the final corner, turn 16, and run towards the line. We're going to get the win on track, but unfortunately with the penalties, it will be a P2. And we just about managed to keep ahead of the Alphas, of course, with our penalties. But a very, very good result for the first round in the league. We can come onto the podium for P2. My second podium in RLH, and a good way to start the Asia Cup. Of course, not really expecting to be in P2 and leading for most of the race, but a good race. But of course, a few mistakes from myself cost me the race victory. Anyway, got to be happy with that. Getting the P2, and of course that's going to put us P2 in the championship. So hoping to compete now throughout the continent of Asia. Of course, we move from Australia to Asia now, and the next race being in Bahrain. Of course, the very fast dusk race, and that will be next Tuesday, with the video coming out next Wednesday. So look forward to that when it goes out.